to meet you.
So thank you for meeting with us like this. Joy and I are starting a series where once a month we're just going to meet with different contractors, one in each category, and put information out there for consumers to help educate and protect them. And you instantly came to mind to me because when we were in Legacy Business Leaders, you were on a mission to do that with roofing.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, this is Melissa McLinn with Blue Collar Roofing. She and her husband Kevin own it. Joy Akins is my associate, and I am Kimberly Jadich. I own Quartz Coast Realty here in Manatee, Sarasota, Charlotte, and DeSoto counties, Florida. So, Melissa, do you want to just give a background about your company?
Yeah, so we started our business at the end of 2022 after Hurricane Ian. My husband's been in roofing his whole life. He's third generation. But in 2022, the company he was working with didn't show that they were willing to grow. So he realized that was his point that he needed to start his own business, which was his dream anyways. But that was the moment that it was like, okay, now it's time because I've reached my max potential with this company, and I need to do my own thing. So we started the business at the end of 2022, officially got his license in March of 2023, and we were putting on roofs the very next day. So our first roof was my grandmother's home. She got her insurance check from Hurricane Ian. She waited until Kevin got his license so that we could do her roof and it be the first one, which is why she's our model on our website. When you see, you scroll down to the bottom, the nice picture of my grandma holding the sign, I love my new roof. And that's also how we build our business on that core value of treating everyone as if we would my own grandmother. So, been going at it for 3 years now. Um, Put our 5 year plan into play in year two when Hurricane Milton came through. So we had to scale really, really, really fast. And thank God the right people walked in our doors to help us do that. We went from 12 employees to 55 employees in the matter of 6 months.
Wow. And
Wow.
are you still at that same level?
Yes, we're actually selling more right now than we were in November, December of last year. It's like signed contracts, people getting their insurance checks, ready to replace their roofs. We are selling more now than we were right after the storm.
Amazing.
So I
Wow.
don't know when it's going to slow down. I know it's going to come eventually, but right now we're just trying to take care of our community.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that you were also collaborating with other roofing companies just to make sure that everyone was covered and to make sure that that people weren't being scammed.
Yep, that was a big thing for me, being a lifelong Manatee County resident. All these out of town roofers come in and try and take advantage of people because they are in, a distressed state, trying to just get their project taken care of, signing contracts that, aren't fair to the homeowner, where they're giving away all of their benefits from their insurance claim to the one roofer when there's in fact other damages such as, ceilings, fences, gutters, where the roofer's taking your whole insurance check and just replacing your roof. So that's the big soapbox I was standing on, was trying to educate homeowners not to sign an assignment of benefits with a roofer. Don't have roofers open the claim on your behalf. You open your own claim always, and then you choose your contractors. Don't have a contractor do your claim. If you want somebody to take care of your claim for you, you need to hire a public adjuster because they're working for you, and then you can still choose your own contractors at the end. But
I would
never,
not have
ever,
known that.
yeah,
Good
never,
to know.
ever have a roofer open a claim for you. So if they're asking for your policy number at the door, shut the door and have to call somebody else, such as blue collar roofing.
Yeah, I can tell you from firsthand experience, I have had sellers who've had to replace roofs as a condition to sell their home. And I have referred them to you, and your team is very responsive, very professional, pulls the permits, does everything legal,
Hmm.
and the closing goes without a hitch. I do want to ask you about that. For sellers that have to have a roof replaced as a condition of selling the home because it's uninsurable, would you be allowed to, not allowed, would they be allowed to have paid at closing? Or do you require, like, what if the roof is done now, but closing isn't a month from now?
So typically it's case by case scenario. Like, um, for example, if the closing date we know is within 2 to 3 weeks, we're okay doing the roof project and getting paid at closing. But if for some reason the closing doesn't go through, we do need to be paid within 30 days. So
Okay,
like say we do the roof, but then closing gets canceled for some reason, or the transaction doesn't go through, the seller needs to just go ahead and pay us. We can't hold an open contract for 90 days, 120 days,
sure.
because we pay our labor, we pay the material, and then we're just sitting here in limbo for a while. So we're not really in that type of situation to hold open tickets for 120 to 250 days. But if it's a quick close, like, hey, we're closing in 2 weeks, can you do the roof so that we can get insurance? No problem.
Good
But
to
it's
Do
know.
you
definitely case by case.
do you offer payment plans if they're unable to close and they had to have it done?
So we have financing.
Okay,
We work with Enhancify, which can be applied for right on our website. And that's a personal loan. It's not a loan that's tied to the property. So that's another benefit. Like, you can go ahead and do the roof, sell your property, but still pay for the roof later or pay it off at closing. But then we also work with local banks because they tend to have better rates for HELOCs. So like Fifth Third Bank, Banco ZK, and First Citizens here locally, we've sent clients to them, and they're able to get better rates than our online financing
so you
because it
help them with
has.
that. That's wonderful.
We just give them, the contacts and locations closest to them. We don't really assist. It's just like, hey, call Angie and Fifth Third if you're in Parish, or call Jasmine at Banco ZK on Manatee Avenue. It just depends on where they're located and what their situation is. But the HELOC has lower rates because it has collateral attached to it versus a personal loan.
Is there an average term for those personal loans for the roofs?
So it's another thing. Like, it's not us that does that.
Sure.
It's a third party. So pretty much it's based on their credit score, what they put
Right.
into the system, but it's an instant approval. Like, sometimes people get approved instantly for the whole value of the roof. Sometimes they need 15,000, but they get approved for 12,000. So it's just very depends on what gets put in the system. But it's pretty instant approval.
Yeah,
Sure.
it works the same way with air conditioners. I know this call isn't about air conditioners, but and I also know, and I think it's important that the public know this, that if they were to have you put a roof on, it was supposed to be paid at closing, and for whatever reason it didn't close, and then so you would put a lien on their
Correct.
title, and that's rightfully so. No contractor should have to wait to get paid, in my opinion, anyway. But circumstances sometimes delay it just a little bit within reason. But I think 30 days is pretty generous for the
Mhm.
most part for anybody that might have to pay. But this is good to know because people don't know and
Yes.
then they get upset
Hmm.
and they always want to blame somebody. Oftentimes it's the realtors, and oftentimes the deal will fall through when it didn't have to.
Yeah. There's
What
always
about,
something.
go ahead. What about length of time that those private loans tend to be for? Obviously, there's variables in
I'll
there,
be
but
right
is there
back.
like an average length of time?
So I think that with that situation, it depends because the homeowner requests how long they want it for. So
Sure.
you can ask for it for 4 years, you can ask for it, for 10 years. It just depends on what the homeowner requests.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't familiar with length of time that those tend to be for.
Hmm. Yeah, it could be a long-term loan or it could be a short-term loan.
Okay. Well, she's gone, so we'll just move on to the next point. What is the life expectancy of each type of roof? I know there's many, but I guess just maybe choose your main.
So we predominantly do shingle roofs, and those life expectancies are 18 to 20. And then our second is metal and tile, and those are 30 plus systems.
Mhm.
But we've also started doing some different unique specialty roofing, which is stone coated steel, which
Interesting.
it has the same look and feel as tile or shingle, but that 30 plus life expectancy. And then we
Interesting.
also offer a Brava tile, which is a synthetic, it's pretty much a plastic roof. It has no maintenance needed, and that's a 30 plus system as well. But it replaces the traditional concrete or clay tile, and it doesn't have maintenance. You don't have to worry about tiles breaking. It's really, really good for golf courses.
Yes.
So, like if somebody lives on a golf course and they have these concrete tile roofs, and they're constantly having to replace tiles because golf balls are hitting their house, synthetic is the best solution for golf course communities. And
Does
I'm
the
hoping.
synthetic lay flat like a shingle, or is it shaped
So they
like a
have three
tile?
different profiles. They
Okay,
have the Spanish barrel tile. They also have the slate profile, and then they have a cedar shake profile, but that's not very popular in Florida. But the two that are popular in Florida are the Spanish and the slate.
very nice.
So I think the Spanish we also call that barrel, the
Yep,
barrel.
barrel tile.
Okay.
Yep, and it comes in the same colors as the traditional. Like we have the terracotta, we have the Mediterranean blend, there's a green one, there's a black one. Like they're really beautiful, but the longevity and the zero maintenance, like will really save you money over time. You're gonna pay more up front, but over time, not having to clean your roof every year, not having to replace broken tile, not having to, do stuff like that will save you a lot of money.
Do you replace roofs with solar panels on them?
We do, but if the homeowner's keeping the solar guy has to come remove and replace because we're not licensed to touch solar. If they're throwing it away and they're not going to reuse it, we'll take it off the roof and throw it away for them. But there's just an extra fee for the dump because it does weigh a lot.
Good to know.
Okay.
Will the tariffs impact your business?
100%. So all of our roofing material practically is made of asphalt, and every roof needs metal because we do the flashings and we do the drip edge and all of that. Metal pricing, we're seeing a 25% increase, which is really, really high. And I let all of my customers who had metal quotes out know that that was coming so that if they wanted to continue with the metal, let's lock it in right now and get it ordered. But asphalt shingle, we actually switched our manufacturer. We were using one that was produced in Canada, and now we've switched to an American made product so that we don't have to increase our prices as much. Even though the raw material, there is the tariff on the raw material, but the shingle is being manufactured here, so we're not getting the double tariff of asphalt and, final product coming into the US.
So I believe you
Okay.
do all types of roofs. I know you did my daughter's, also
Yes.
her manufacturer home. Do you do commercial?
We do commercial. Yep. We just completed a beautiful dream project of mine, which is a blue standing seam metal roof in Ellington for a pediatrics office. To have a blue roof done by blue collar that's that big and that prominent in our area just made my marketing heart happy.
Very nice.
So yeah, commercial, we're replacing a flat roof system on a shopping plaza. I think that project starts next week in Sarasota. We did a condo association. It was 12 buildings. That was our first big commercial job, and we did the stone coated steel. So they had the concrete barrel. We tore that off and put stone coated steel. They've had zero issues in the 2 years that they've had that roof now. So beautiful, no broken tiles because it's metal.
What areas do you service?
We service mainly Manatee and Sarasota County, but we do extend our arms to Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Port Charlotte.
Okay, so Port Charlotte would be your bottom. You don't go into like Punta Gorda.
We don't go into Punta Gorda. We don't go over that bridge.
Okay.
So yeah, Port Charlotte, and eventually we may even scale back out of Port Charlotte. We had that in our service area because of people still dealing with Hurricane Ian when we opened the business, but we find ourselves only driving down there like once or twice a week now. And for a roof specialist to drive, an hour and a half south, hour and a half back with traffic, then it's 3 hours out of his day for one potential appointment. So we may eventually scale out of that and hyper focus on Manatee, Sarasota, because I've lived in Manatee County my whole life.
Nice. That's nice. That's rare.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people here that need our services.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What type of roofs, are there any type of roofs that you would recommend people stay away from?
So the biggest thing that we recommend is if synthetic or felt is mentioned in the quotes, because that is a very cheap product. That's how you end up with roof leaks. We use peel and stick only on our roofs. We don't even offer synthetic felt paper. So oftentimes when someone's like, "Oh, I got a quote for $3,000 less than yours, why is that?" we see that it's felt paper and it's not peel and stick. So that's the one thing is making sure you have a high quality water barrier because they call that the secondary water barrier to the peel and stick, which gets you a discount on your insurance, but it also ensures that your roof's not going to leak.
That's good.
And then cheap shingles, I'd stay away from cheap shingles because
How do you define a cheap shingle?
every manufacturer has their tiers.
Ah,
And if you go with the low grade shingle, 90% of the time they're not going to have that nail strip that prevents tearage whenever wind comes through. They're just going to be a standard shingle that when we do get winds, they're going to blow off. Those are the ones that are going to be confetti all over the yards.
I see.
Okay, good to know.
Yes.
I've
What
seen it.
about warranties for the various roofs?
So we offer a 5-year craftsmanship warranty. So if there's anything that was installed improperly or, we missed something, we'll take care of it. The shingle manufacturers themselves, they offer 10 to 15 years, and then some will try and sell you a 25-year warranty. But due to Florida and their insurance policies, we will never try and sell somebody a 25-year warranty because even if you buy it, the insurance company is going to tell you you have to replace it at 15, 20 years anyway. So why would you spend that $5,000 on why? I'm not going to take somebody's money for something that's not going to add value to them.
Yes,
What
I
about
remember.
um, say someone has you do a full re-roof and then later on they need to have either some repair done or maybe a secondary re-roof. Do you offer any type of a loyalty thing for people that continue to reuse you guys?
So we have a referral program, but we don't really have a repeat. I mean, if somebody had a repair done with us and then they're ready for, a replacement, we'll definitely consider the money they've already spent, with us when we're pricing them out. But we definitely, like say a storm comes through and our re-roof clients, if they have any damages, they're priority. Like if they bought a roof from us last year, they're going to get their attention taken care of first. So we do, and then we are in the process of building some kind of lifetime warranty program. I can't spill all the beans yet because we don't have it, but like where you can pay us every year to come and do maintenance and make sure you're not missing any shingles and check your flashing and this and that, so that you have peace of mind that we're there for you. And you'll even have a special phone number so that when there's a storm, that line's getting answered first.
Love
Very
it.
cool.
Because we learned a lot in October. We learned a lot.
We all did.
Yeah.
I guarantee you learned more than most of us, but we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you still do 4 points and wind mitts also?
Yeah, so this is a complimentary service we include. Anytime somebody buys a roof from us, and this is something other roofers don't really do, we include a wind mitigation. So we hire a licensed home inspector to go to the roof project when we're done and get the wind mitigation done so you can turn that into your insurance to get those discounts and credits.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
that's a service that we add that other roofers say, yeah, you need it, but they send you on your way to go find your own home inspector to take care of it, or they're referring someone in their BNI group or something. Oh, call Jim Bob and he'll take care of you. Where we actually give it to the home inspector we know and trust, schedule it, pay them, and you get your documentation, and then we keep that on file for the 5 years that your roof's under warranty too. So if you need it in the future for shopping policies.
So I know that when I was selling real estate years ago, when Joy bought her home, at the time, insurance companies were requiring two, or at the time two, and then they bumped it to 3 years of life left on a roof. Now it's 5 years life
Mhm.
left on a roof. I'm sure that's impacted your business a lot too. Why do they keep doing that? Because of the storms?
I think because they're tired of writing checks for roofs, and so if they can get ahead of it, they can say, okay, well, you need to get a new roof before, because then that resets that clock. If so, the 5-year mark, if it's like, oh, there's less than 5 years, your new policy, they don't want to, sign you up and have to pay out that very first year on a whole roof that only had 5 years left.
How much roof fraud are you seeing? Do you see it from your company? I see it a lot in real estate.
So yeah, we see it in the industry. And I hate it. I really, really hate it. Like
Me
we
too.
go to roofing conferences and it's crazy. There's the retail roofers, which is us, who are there to work for the homeowner. And then there's the storm chasers, the ones that as soon as there's a hailstorm, they're running to that town. As soon as there's a hurricane, they're running to that town. And I really, really wish that our government like would stop allowing out-of-state contractors to come in after a natural disaster, because that's one thing people don't know is after a natural disaster, the state opens up to out of state contractors to come in unlicensed. They don't know our codes. They don't know what we're supposed to do, and they're taking advantage of homeowners and giving them the cheap roof for a premium price, and then they're gone. You don't see them again because they get the tail light warranty as soon as they're out of town. Good
I
luck.
still get phone calls on my personal home 2 to 3 times a month from people who say that because of these storms, even though my roof is 3 years old, that because of these storms, 3-year-old roofs have experienced damage, and
Hmm.
that they're coming into the neighborhood this week, and would 3 o'clock tomorrow or 9 o'clock the next day be good for them to preview my roof? And it smells like a scam.
It is. It's a scam. It's those are the roofers that are going to have you call your insurance, open a policy, have them be the assignment of benefits. They're going to work for you to get you the most money, but then they're going to take all of it.
Mm, thank you.
Yeah.
Question for you. This is actually a soon to be new listing, kind of in the same situation. We're getting towards the end of the years of life of the roof. Would you recommend them hire an inspector to give them years of life remaining, or call someone like you guys who can give an honest opinion of whether you think that realistically is going to need to be done in order to get to closing?
So either or. So one benefit about us is we have a licensed home inspector on our team.
Oh,
So
fabulous.
if you need a proof of like roof document, we would send him out to prepare that document for your client, because he can put his home inspection license number on there and our roof contractor's number on there, and it holds up better to insurance companies than one or the other, because we can say what we think, which we do this a lot for real estate agents. Go take a look at the roof. Okay, it's got 5 years, or it's got 3 years, or this roof is perfect. Like you have 10, 15 years on it. But once Eric goes out there and he puts his home inspection license number on it and our contractors, it's like whatever this guy says is true. It's
Okay,
just
good to know.
it's double validation.
Okay, good to
I
know.
know
Good
for
And
a
to know.
fact
we
though that oftentimes when I recommend people do pre-inspections, the buyers come along and do their own inspections, and that's okay. They're allowed to do that. But it does help with marketing, and it does help give assurances.
Mhm. Pre-inspections, 100% recommend, because if there's anything that the inspector catches, you can fix it before you list it. And then you can show the potential buyer, like, look, this was the report that was provided pre-listing. We fixed this or this, and now this is no longer a problem. So you can go into the offer table assured that the issues are taken care of if there was any.
That's good to
That's
know. Good
good.
to know.
Yeah, that's good.
Pre-listing inspections are, I think, key on your part for sure. Like as a real estate agent, if you push sellers to do that, they can get higher value because then the buyer has nothing to negotiate.
So would you say that on a roof that's maybe 15 years old or 10 years old or 12? What would you, because I don't think on a roof that's 5 or
I think
7 or,
anything 10 years or older should be inspected,
okay,
especially if the lower quality materials were put on.
okay.
Just
Okay.
have it
And you said
inspected.
tile is usually 30, yes?
Tiles 30, yep.
Okay.
The life expectancy, but
Right.
you do see, cracks and loose tiles, broken tiles, which those should all be addressed, I think, pre-listing, before have the roof looked at if there's broken cracked tile. That way, when the buyer does their inspection, oh, roof was perfect, no problems.
What is the life expectancy of the tin roofs?
So those are 30 years as well.
So, wow, when I started here 13 years ago, it was 50 for tile and 70 for tin. So it's gone down.
They've taken it all down to 30, yeah.
So that's insurance.
Yep.
Insurance did that? Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
to know.
Now, your metal roof will probably last 50 years, but the insurance is going to tell you to replace it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, they shouldn't have that much control, but it's can't do anything about it right now.
Yeah. hopefully we get more carriers that want to come and cover Florida, but it seems like every storm we lose two or three, and so the monopoly and what they can make us do.
Mhm. Okay.
Well, I think
I don't
I don't
think I
have any
have
more
any other
questions.
questions. You nailed them all. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, you too, Joy. And Melissa, you covered more than I thought I knew. More than
Hey,
I
if
thought
you
I would
ever have
ask.
questions, if I don't know the answer, Kevin does.
Mhm,
So, because I mainly focus on the marketing part of our business. So I'm
mhm,
still learning, and every day I learn something new and getting more and more educated on the actual technicalities of roofing.
mm.
So if you had to pick a one thing to impart wisdom on for those in need of roofs, what would be your greatest takeaway from everything that we've discussed today?
So the top thing probably for a homeowner would be to make sure you get three quotes. Make sure that you're getting peel and stick as your underlayment, and to make sure that you trust whoever it is and that they are not going to be gone next season. Like the roofer that you select needs to be somebody who's based in your area, that's local, that has a real office, like not just working out of their home, not renting a suite from like a shared, like they need to have a real space, because then you know that they're dedicated to the community. Anybody can come from out of town and rent an office suite for a month or 6 months and then pack it up and see you later, because you want them to be there in case you have any issues, like warranty work. If they're
Okay.
from Orlando and you become a little warranty work, good luck having them come out in a
Right.
timely manner. You might see them in 6 months when, oh, we're in your area.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, thank you so much
I
for your
do have
time. It
one
was a
last
pleasure
question.
to meet you.
This is a 30-minute call. I have one. Do you do gutters and downspouts? I know you do fascia and soffit, but do
We
you?
don't do gutters, but we
Okay.
do work with Skyway Gutters here locally. They
Okay.
manufacture all their gutters in-house, and we've been to their shop. They're clean. They have good transitions, great communication. So Skyway Gutters is who we recommend.
That's great. A lot of my questions are not just my curiosity, but I would say 90% are what buyers and sellers ask me that I've
Absolutely.
been telling them to the best of my experience, but coming straight from the horse's mouth is even more, helps me be a better professional and Joy be a better. So thank you.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, happy to help.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Good to see you, Miss Kim.
Good to see you too.
Nice to meet you, Joy.
Nice to meet you as well. Hopefully, we'll be working with each other soon.
Absolutely. I hope you have a blessed day.
Thanks. You too.
You as
Thank
well.
you.
Bye bye.